Glyn Hodges, really good to see you again. First of all, how are you? How are the family?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Rob. It's been quite good for me based up north with getting spending some time at home doing the odd jobs. I've had long lists from the missus, so I'm catching up with things. But you've got one eye on training, one eye on the football, and while the games are back on, I find quite hard to watch. With the atmosphere is not very good. I just want to get back training and get back at it again.
How really pleased are you with the achievement of staying in League One yet again? Because it is an achievement.
Yes, it was absolutely massive, and we're absolutely delighted. I mean, we feel sorry for the way it was done, and Tranmere, who was on the roll, coming, like a train, and we wish them well and hope they can get promoted again next year. But to look at our season, to break it down, okay, we only played 35 matches, but if you can write off the first 10 where we didn't even get started, we've accumulated enough points in 25 games to stay in this division. So however long the division is, however long the games are, we've done enough over the timescale, and them 25 games points tally was very good. So it's something that excites me for next year if we can improve on that. We can improve on that, and which I'm sure we can, because there was games there that we let slip. So we just got to be a bit more determined to go. But to actually, like I said to you before, the goal was to be League One at Plough Lane, and it probably went a little bit. Wasn't great the way the season finishes, but don't take anything away from the achievement of what the players achieved. To actually do it and to stay up after the first 10 games. I can't speak highly enough of them, and I can't wait till the season to get started again.
Does that give you sort of good heart as well? The fact that we're able to punch at this weight as well against these big clubs that are up there.
Yeah, well, I think we can do more. I think we can do better. I keep saying to the players, we're always looking over our shoulder, or we've got a mountain that climb as we have done the last 2 seasons, and even the season before. So, it's something that it's something that we belong here. We've got players who do belong here, and probably the different end of the league that we are in, the division that we're in. I think we can really push on, and I'll be determined to work as hard as I possibly can with individuals and collectively, and get a solid performance week in, week out, consistent, and something that we can be proud of, and we can be proud of when we move into our new home.
And those young players as well, the likes of Jack Radoni and of course Terrell Thomas. Now they've got more experience under their belts. That'll stand them in good stead, won't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, Rudy had a bit of it and did really well in glimpses and some great football. He'll get better. Terrell, I thought, was immense, and again, 22 years of age. I think people forget how old he is, but he can only get better and better. So that's just to name them two. But we've got players who have improved, and it's a little bit more consistency, a little bit more belief, making sure that we've got. I keep saying we know how we're going to play. We're going to improve on that, and we know how to win games. And if we can keep everybody fit, we're everybody fit. I'm really excited, and like I say, just got to add and make the squads a bit stronger. We're not probably got enough at this precise moment, but it's only early, so hopefully watch this space.
We talk about, of course, the recruitment process last summer, the fact of Luke O'Neill and Callum Riley. You got that very right indeed, didn't you? Yeah.
Well, that was Wally. There were decisions by Wally, and credit to him. He bought some players. He got some good players at this club, and they're out there. They're out there. I think when we first come to the club, the recruitment wasn't as it should be. So we recognise that, and especially if you're trying to punch above your weight and you're not competing with the Sunderlands and the Ipswiches and the Portsmouth in the monetary side of things, you've got to be a bit cuter and have the head start on how we do things on the recruitment. So you've got to get that right. If you get that wrong and you haven't got the budget to get out of it, then you're in trouble. So it's something that we're conscious of, and something that we know we've got to be spot on with, because it's vital with the club that we are.
Joe Piggott as well. We've seen him push on again this past season as well. How much are we seeing him become the more well-rounded striker, the complete player now?
Yeah, he's improved. His all-rounding game improved. He probably would be disappointed in his goals tally, because I know that the centre forwards are probably that's how he measures himself. But the goals he scored the season before were magnificent. He didn't quite get there, but I'd like to see what his assists were compared to the year before. And again, he's a big player for us. He leads from the front. He got the armband for a spell, so that's how highly thought he is by the staff and by the players and by the fans. So I can, again, another young player He's had a bit of a break, and I know he's been out on his bike, so he's feeling strong. He's feeling stronger as well. So, it'd be interesting to see after this. I think the break's been too long, but there's other things you can do. So while it might have been ideal, they can develop and they can get a bit stronger in different ways and come back different players with different bodies. So a bit stronger and a bit and we've got to make sure that we can't get the injuries we had last year. That's for sure. We had too many injuries at key times. Too many players are out. So that's something that we're conscious of. And hopefully this breaks held them in good stead. And with a pre-season program we've got, we try and keep as many fit as we can and kick on. Like I say, just can't wait to get going.
Someone who's going to be really keen to show what he can do as well will be Will Nightingale. Are you really sort of encouraged by how he's on the way back now?
Yeah, I mean, Will's probably one who's been disappointed more than anything. I think he missed a lot of football this year. Last year he didn't, and the year before I think he's always had these sort of injuries that keep him out. So there's nothing you can do. I think he gets a bit down when he does get injured, but part and parcel of being a footballer are these injuries. It's how you recover and how you respond and how you get back. So he'll be chomping at the bit. I know he's doing some work again, and they've all got their programs away. So it's interesting. Day one's always good, or the first couple of days always good to see how they come back and see where they're at. And again, they're comparing to each other. They haven't seen each other for a long time, so it'll be when you're doing a bit of running, it'll be competitive and it'll be good fun to see where we are. And
Chris McConnell's first pre-season with us as well. Are you excited by the work that he's putting together, the plans he's putting together?
Yeah, I know he's done brilliant. He's been a key performer in this lockdown. He's been setting the bars and he's been doing Zoom, I think strength Zoom meetings with them, and he's been doing all sorts. He's really he's set the Strava group up. He's been doing brilliantly with them. He's a big part of it. And again, it is a big part. I keep saying injuries, and Dougie as well, and Katie. There's important roles to be played, and it's a long season, and we've got to make sure that we're ready and prepared.
You've had some good news this week in terms of Shane McLaughlin taking up the option on him, and of course the same Beeler as well signing his professional contract. Are you happy with the shape of the squad, that it's got the potential to grow together now?
It's got to grow. We've not got many players. We signed a lot of the younger boys. There's 7 or 8 of the younger boys, but they're not tried and tested. Shane's done brilliant last year and deserves the contract and can play in a number of places. But if you take the young kids out of the way, I think we've got 11 senior pros, 2 left backs, 4 centre halves. So at the moment we can't field a team. So while Shane's a big part of it, we need to get more. We need to get more and get moving fast.
While we're recording this, as you said, we're waiting for the announcement at the start of the season. How difficult has it been trying to put plans into place?
Well, I've done it once. We did it funny enough in March. Had all the games in place, had the return to training, had it all mapped out, and was quite happy. And then obviously it's gone. We'd have been back training now. So pre-season. Then we decided, and then we're looking at it how to go about it.
Are you hopeful that perhaps Anthony Hartigan might be a part of that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Anthony's a good young player. He's played for his age. You look at the amount of games he's played. I don't think there's too many players at his age who've had that amount of experience. So while he's come to end his contract, which we offered in January, and it didn't look like he was going to sign. So we've been speaking to him and speaking to the agents, and we're hopeful. He's a good young footballer, potential. He's a value because he's come through the club and come through the academy, another one. So, we're hopeful. Not heard anything yet, but the offer's there. And like I say, we probably won't have a bigger squad as last year. At
the start of July, more players become available. How important is that process put into place by Nick Dawes last season? Now, all the groundwork that he did.
Well, I mean, the one thing to come out of this, obviously, the lockdown is we've had probably the scouts. We've had 4 on their laptops, and they've been more productive. I think you're cutting out the travelling, you're cutting out the games. They're doing a lot more on videos. We've got some good platforms. There's several places they can go and find footage and get stats and get everything on the players. So we've now got a real detailed and extensive list of database of players. So that has been really, really good. And again, it's probably, you think moving forward when things do turn back to normal, if they ever get back to normal, you think it still might be that, instead of being on the road for a couple of hours and wasting time. You can spend it a bit more efficiently. So that's something that we might look at. We might be doing something differently. Of course, when you do target a player, then you've still got to have eyes on him. You've got to actually go and see the lad. But at this moment in time, it's not possible. So it's just being a bit smarter and trying to see how we streamline it and like I say, make it cost effective, get more for your money.
So really, I mean, you've still got the plan in place of where you can have a plan A, a plan B, a plan C. It's not that players just come up available.
No. We've got I've got we go on a computer and I've got my succession plan. I've got my players in place. I've got probably 3 for each position. I mean, that's including the current squad. So you're just trying to build and move about, and you're looking at the and they've been very good with their some scouts will sit on the fence, not sure. But I quite like the fact that there will be a yes, forget him, sign him. You get definite looks in, and obviously I'm looking at the players as well, and it's not loads and loads of. We're not like 50-50. We're saying he'll fit the system, he won't, and we've been really thorough in our work.
Of course, you've got the likes of Terrell Thomas, Luke O'Neill, Callum Riley, Joe Piggott, but how important is adding that bit of experience now?
Oh, massively. I mean, you look at. I mean, what's probably building a stadium. We're probably the only club at this moment in time building a stadium, so all the finances are being geared to there. The hard work that everyone's put in right from the word go. And I mean, I can just go since I've been here. The Mission Impossible with Wally, the hard work that went to stay in this division. The time before that with Neil Ardley and Coxey and the people what they did to run at the end of their season to stay up. So there's, we value our status and we want to stay at this state, and I think we can kick on. And we need to make sure that these top players that we've got and key performers who will get better, by the way, have got support and are looking at the club and thinking, blimey, we haven't got as many players, but we got a bit more quality than quantity this year, maybe. I don't know, but we've got to make sure that we bring the players in that definitely add to the mix and give us, a positive move, positive force going forward.
You've done very well, of course, as well in the loan market too. We've seen Max Sanders sign a new deal with Brighton. The likes of Marcus Forss and Aaron Ramsdale have come in on loan. Is that something that you'd look into as well still?
Yeah. I speak about this quite a lot. We will get. I mean, we're allowed 5, and we will do 5. We've got to. I mean, again, you're gambling on them a little bit. We like to have second loans. Sometimes you're not going to get the second loans. I think they need that bit of experience. But we've got our eye on. So we're speaking to clubs now. So we've got our eye on it, and we're trying to get in. I know I didn't like January. I think January is a nightmare anyway. But January was a rush and a panic, and then you was going to make decisions that you didn't really want, and that's why we held back. But I want to get stuff done in place quickly and early. I know nothing's happening yet, but there are things moving forward. So it would be great to, again, with the loans. The problem we got with the loans is their clubs might not let them out till the end of pre-season. So we need to do our work. We need to get ready for the season. So that's a difficult one with the loans, but it will be key. It will be a key part of the squad, definitely.
You've got 2 very talented young goalkeepers in Matthew Cox and Nick Zanev now, but are you looking at a permanent or maybe a loan keeper again?
We was looking at a permanent but now we can't afford a permanent, so we'll look for another loan. Again, we've got our eye on someone. We're speaking to somebody, and it'll be a very good one for us if we can get it over the line. But at this precise moment, it's still in the balance, but they all are. So we've got to. We've got to go ahead on that. We've got to go. We know where we want, and we targeted, and we're just waiting and see if we can do it.
Are you noticing as well in terms of when you look at player targets that they look at that new stadium now and they think, "Oh, I want to be a part of that"?
Yeah, well, I think Dorsey, Claudia, they done a video because we can't. The unique selling point will be bringing them down and showing them the stadium. Now we can't do that. We haven't got that environment, so we made a video and we send it out to agents, we send it out to players, and it's gone down really, really well. So that's exciting, and if it gives us the edge and they want to come and play for us at this brand new stadium, then that we've got to use every advantage we can get. So it's a good thing, and we're trying to use it as best we can. But it's exciting times, and if you're a player, if you're an existing player, you want to come and play here. Moving to a new stadium. And the way it's looking and the way it's shaping up, it looks absolutely magnificent.
Absolutely, that's good to hear. And in terms of your pre-season coming back, have you got a date in mind and how many weeks you kind of need to prepare for kickoff?
Well, yeah, at the moment we've got a COVID task force in place. So the medical staff, Chris, we've got people now looking at what needs to be placed. We've been sent a document. This was back in, I think it was back in April, May, a document that the championship have had to follow. And I think, the playoff, the League One and League Two playoff teams follow. So that means testing twice a week and making sure that, and keeping the numbers streamlined and people coming to train in their kit and leaving in their kit. So, we're looking at what we need to put in place, how we need to do that. I think the testing twice a week will be a challenge for every team moving forward. I mean, you've seen Wigan have gone into administration. So, I was surprised that a championship would. I didn't expect that. So that tells you, that tells where we are in the grand scheme of things.
Pre-season games, I remember back in March you'd had a list up on the board, but obviously that's had to be rescheduled now. You hope to be behind closed doors, presumably, yeah?
Yeah, well, I think it'll be behind closed doors. I'm hoping that our pitch and we get the go ahead to play some at Plough Lane. It's going to be. I'm not sure what we're going to do if we can start there, but even if we don't start there, I think some training sessions and some games there will help us. Whether we have that in-house, I don't know. But I'm not expecting fans to. I know pre-season. I love pre-season. You go to some of these non-league games and not which we like playing, and it'll be weird if there are no fans. But things are moving on. You're hearing whispers that there might be fans sooner rather than later. So I don't know what that looks like. I'm not informed on that, but you're just hopeful because it's driving me mad, this stuff on the television. I've looked at both. I've looked at the noise and the without the noise, and I thought I've watched the noise without the noise to begin with. You might be able to pick up something, but it drove me mad. I had to put the noise on, and even then, it's not great. Whoever controls that noise they've got a bit more booing and a bit more, a bit different. It'd make it a little bit. It's agony to watch. Agony to watch.
Just finally as well, I mean, just picking up on that point too. I mean, is that sort of really pushing you on each day, knowing that day's getting closer? It will eventually happen of you stepping out there with the fans back in Plough Lane.
Yeah. Of course. I think when we first come back, it was you knew it was on the horizon, and there was lots of things to overcome, which we've done. And the funding and the fans have been truly magnificent. To dipping their hands in their pockets. I think the loan's more or less in place. The money's there, so that's great to know. And now it was the next thing was making sure that we stayed in League One, to make sure we're in this stadium in League One, which we did. Now it's whether there's going to be salary caps in the future, maybe, but I think it's vital that we by hook or by crook. We make sure we put a squad and a team together that sustain our status and kick on and see if we can fill it and move it forward. And it'll be brilliant to go back there. We're looking forward to it. And when the fans are allowed back in and it's the full house, I think with the way the flats are, the apartments are made, I think the noise is going to bounce off the walls. I imagine an evening game. It's shielded. It's quite close. I think it would add to the atmosphere. So we can't wait.